Later this morning, we'll see how Pinellas County Schools is handling the changes there, with players and coaches getting together for the first time in months. Brightside's Tweelon Wynn is joining us live this morning with what athletes are expecting. Good morning, Tweelon.
Caitlin, good morning. Some sports are going to look a lot different. Others, like tennis, going to look okay. So we're expecting things like football, basketball, and volleyball to change quite a lot here. Now, the National Federation of State High School Associations released some pretty strict suggestions for COVID-19 safety, but leaves it up to each district to create their own rules. Some things they do recommend: a symptom monitoring form for students and staff, and cleaning all athletic equipment, including things like footballs, after every use. That means there's no passing. Pinellas schools used these guidelines to create their own return to play plan. It's in 3 phases. In the first phase, athletes can only practice outdoors. Locker rooms and weight rooms will be closed. In phase 2, weight rooms and gyms will be considered, as well as upping the number of people allowed at each practice facility. In the third phase, daily screenings for staff and athletes will be required. Everyone will also need to wear a mask. Now, we're also waiting to see how other districts in our area are going to adopt those national guidelines into their own programs, and exactly how our sports and scheduling are going to change in case COVID-19 causes more closures.
All right.